kingdoms rose upon violence. The powerful devoured the weak, and the silence of heaven seemed to weigh upon every soul. But an ancient promise was fulfilled. An angel descended, and the voice of the Most High reached a young woman in Nazareth, announcing that salvation had drawn near. When the messenger entered her home, light broke forth like dawn in the heart of night. Mary trembled, and heaven declared the promised Son would come. In that moment, the destiny of the world changed. For when God chooses to be born among us, no human power can resist, no empire can endure, and every darkness is compelled to bow. Prepare to witness the moment when heaven breathed among men. The light that came into the world, the birth of Jesus. The sun poured itself over Judea like a veil of bronze, and the empire stretched across roads that seemed to have no end. Roman columns cast long shadows upon the dust of the cities, and every step of the soldiers echoed the certainty that humankind believed it ruled over time itself. Atop the fortresses, banners fluttered with the arrogance of those who judged themselves sovereign over heaven and earth, while markets seethed with voices competing with the clatter of coins and the noise of human pride. It was the age of kings, a time when glory appeared carved from stone, and the silence of God spread like an ancient whispered rumor. The smaller villages, however, remained like islands of simplicity. Nazareth emerged among gentle hills, its pale stone houses breathing quietness before the vast reach of the empire. There, the wind carried only the scent of olive trees and unspoken hope. Among those homes walked Mary, a young woman of serene countenance, carrying her clay jar as her sandals lifted soft dust that drifted in the warm air. Her gaze rested on details the world chose to ignore: the curve of a vine along a wall, the sun's glimmer on the surface of the jar, the distant song of a shepherdess calling her flock. Within her lived a stillness that could not be explained by youth alone, but by something deeper, as if her soul sheltered an ancient waiting she herself did not yet understand.
Let the will of the Most High be done in me.
Her voice was low, almost as if she were repeating a prayer that rose on its own. And then she continued on her way, unaware that the world around her was slowly inclining toward a destiny that surpassed empires and kings. Heaven watched in silence, and the wind murmured among the stones as if seeking to announce something that could not yet be revealed. Human history pressed forward under the weight of its own arrogance, but in that small village, the first breath of a new kingdom was being born, invisible, unexpected, eternal. She entered her simple home, where the afternoon light rested upon the clay walls like a silent mantle. The jar was set beside the door, and her hands, still damp, brushed the fabric of her veil as she arranged the small wooden table. Everything in her remained calm, yet the atmosphere began to change, so subtle that only the soul could perceive it. The wind, once ordinary, began to blow differently. It slipped through the cracks, moved through the house, lifting particles of dust that seemed to dance in the light pouring through the window. The silence thickened, as though the very breath of the world slowed to listen to something about to happen. Mary furrowed her brow, sensing that the air carried a premonition. Her heart stirred, not with fear, but with an expectation without a name. She turned toward the door, but there was no one there. She took a step. The wind ceased. Another step. The light intensified, golden and gentle, filling the small home. Mary felt the ground tremble softly beneath her sandals, as if the earth itself recognized a presence greater than kings and empires. Her hands rested upon her chest, and her quiet voice tried to grasp what her senses had not yet reached. Then the light gathered at the center of the house, silent, alive, breathing, and the figure appeared. It is neither shadow nor flame, neither man nor wind. It is presence, it is purity. It is as if heaven itself had chosen a form in which to speak. Its wings do not move, yet the air bends around it. Its feet touch the ground without weight, and its eyes, when they rest upon Mary, carry the peace of ages the world has forgotten. Mary feels her legs weaken, her heart beats between fear and reverence, and her soul, so small before that glory, longs to hide and to be lifted at the same time. The angel's voice cuts through the silence, clear, steady, gentle. "Hail, full of grace, the Lord is with you." And in that instant, the entire house seems to breathe, as if the universe itself bowed its head to hear the answer of the young woman who would change the destiny of the world. The air still trembled with the angel's greeting when Mary stepped back, seized by a fear she could not conceal. Her breath faltered, her hands sought support on the wooden table, and the silence weighed like stone upon her young shoulders. The angel remained unmoving, and the light around him adjusted to the young woman's racing heart, as though heaven itself had learned to listen to her fear. Mary tried to speak, but her voice found no path. Then the angel gently inclined his head, a gesture that calmed the very house.
"Do not be afraid, Mary, for you have found favor with the Most High."
And then silence. A silence that does not threaten, but reveals. Mary feels her thoughts spin like a wheel driven by a strong wind. Her heart wavers, caught between faith and wonder. The promise the angel announces, she senses, will be greater than her entire life, greater than Nazareth, greater than Israel.
"You will conceive and give birth to a son, and you shall call his name Jesus."
The name, so simple, so ancient, so full, opens within her an abyss of questions. Mary draws a deep breath. The air feels almost too dense. The angel continues, and with each phrase, a new world rises before her.
"He will be great. He will be called the Son of the Most High, and the Lord God will give him the throne of David, his father. His kingdom will have no end."
And then, once more, silence, as if heaven itself awaited her response. Mary feels her faith tremble. Her soul longs to say yes, but her thoughts stumble over reality. She looks at her hands, so ordinary, and asks in a small voice she barely recognizes,
How will this be, since I know no man?
The angel lifts his face, and a gentle breeze fills the house, stirring the fabric of Mary's veil as if unseen hands were touching it.
The Holy Spirit will come upon you.
He answers, and his tone is not threatening, but filled with a truth impossible to resist.
And the power of the Most High will overshadow you.
Mary feels the ground tremble, not from fear, but because her soul is beginning to grasp the weight and the glory of such a promise. The angel continues, firm and serene.
Therefore, the one who is to be born will be called Holy, the Son of God.
And then he offers a sign.
Your relative Elizabeth has also conceived a son in her old age. She who was called barren is now in her 6th month, for nothing is impossible with God.
The resistance within Mary melts like dew before the sun. Her doubts remain, but they no longer rule her. They are small compared to the voice that fills the house. She breathes in, closes her eyes for a moment, and when she opens them, the decision is made.
Behold, I am the servant of the Lord. Let it be done to me according to your word.
And the angel disappears, not with thunder, but with light, leaving Mary alone, yet carrying within her the first victory of faith. The spiritual battle has begun, and the world, unaware, begins to move toward the miracle that will forever change the history of humankind. And Mary remains alone in the silent house after the angel's light dissolves like a breeze returning to heaven. Nothing around her seems to have changed. The table is still rough wood. The walls remain simple. The jar still rests by the door. Yet within her, everything has shifted, like earth after a tremor. Her soul pulses between greatness and fear, and her hands rest upon her still empty womb, as if they could reach the mystery that will begin to exist there. She breathes slowly. The silence weighs heavy. Night arrives without asking permission. Lamps are lit, and their flames flicker, as if hesitating before the invisible presence that now accompanies every thought of the young woman. Mary tries to order her mind, but her thoughts move like startled birds. Son of the Most High, she repeats within herself, and each word feels too large to fit inside her small home. She kneels, closes her eyes. The silence deepens. The faith that sustained her before the angel is still there, but now she must face it alone. There is no brilliant light, no heavenly voice, only the weight of the promise and the vastness of the unknown. Mary feels her heart sink into the question she fears to admit. Why her? Why a simple young woman from Nazareth? How will she carry something that belongs to heaven itself?
The wind slips through the crack of the window. It says nothing. Mary rises and steps outside. Night covers the village, and the sky is filled with silent stars, so distant they seem to listen without answering. She lifts her face and looks for a sign, a glimmer, a movement, anything, but everything remains still, as if God were watching, but not speaking. Her heart wavers, her faith tightens. The weight of the calling presses like a mountain. She remembers the angel's words. She remembers Elizabeth. She remembers every promise. But memory, however sacred, does not light the path ahead. She fears the world, the questions, what is to come. And yet, at the same time, a faint flame continues to burn within her, small, fragile, but alive. Mary sits at the edge of the doorway. Silence surrounds everything. The moon rises slowly between the hills, casting a gentle light upon her face. Her hands intertwine, seeking strength within themselves. Her soul speaks without a voice, crying out in secret to the God who seems hidden.
Remain with me.
And the silence remains, but it is not the silence of distance. It is the silence of one who shapes, who prepares, who deepens. Time that night seems caught between two breaths of God. Mary, still fragile, still afraid, rests on the threshold between doubt and faith. And without realizing it, her soul begins to be prepared for the miracle. That same night quiets Mary to the depths of her soul when an unexpected breeze touches her face, too gentle to be wind, too strong to be mere air. She lifts her head, confused, and notices that the darkness around her begins to move, not like shadow, but like the breathing of something alive. Her heart quickens, her hands clutch her veil. The world seems to wait. Then, the light. Not an ordinary light, not the flame of a lamp, but a light born within the silence, as if heaven itself opened its eyes upon the earth. The air grows warm, the ground trembles, time stands still. Mary feels the wind turn around her, circling as if it recognizes her name, as if greeting her fragile faith. The light grows, filling the space between her and the night until everything becomes golden, gentle, and whole. Her breath falters, her knees give way. She places her hands on the cold earth, yet the ground pulses beneath her fingers as if it carried a rhythm greater than the world. And then, the presence. There is no defined form, no face, no multitude of voices. There is only the Holy One, invisible, uncontained, descending like a mist of glory. Mary feels her soul tremble. She feels warmth and cold at once. She feels fear and peace in equal measure. She knows she stands before the Most High, no longer as promise, but as living reality. The light surrounds her, tracing each contour with sacred gentleness. The wind brushes her veil like unseen hands. The air fills with a vibration that seems to sing without sound. And her soul, once tightened by doubt, opens like a field after rain. Then the voice, not sound, not word, a sentence within the spirit.
You are not alone. The words pass through her like a river. Mary closes her eyes, and tears fall without her noticing. Her heart responds without needing a voice.
Do in me according to what you say.
And the miracle begins. A deep warmth descends upon her, not burning, but filling. Her breath catches, and for a moment the world seems to bow in reverence. The wind stops. The light gathers over her womb like a seal of an eternal promise. Mary feels something touch her within, gentle, delicate, powerful, as if God were planting a seed of eternity in her flesh. A shiver runs through her body, then another, and then absolute silence. Not of absence, of completion. The light slowly withdraws, not as one who leaves, but as one who entrusts something precious to remain. The wind fades into soft breezes. Night settles around her. The stars emerge once more. The earth grows still. Mary remains kneeling, breathing slowly, holding herself as one who tries to grasp the incomprehensible. She brings her hands to her womb, and the sensation is new. A gentle warmth pulses there, a steady peace, a presence, a beginning. Her heart falters for an instant. she whispers, almost without a voice,
You are with me.
And the night, now calm, seems to confirm it. Mary rises slowly. Her steps are small, yet steady. Doubt has not vanished completely, but it is quiet now, surrendered to the touch of the Holy One. The miracle did not blaze like thunder. It did not roar like an earthquake. It came as God so often comes, with untamable power, wrapped in tenderness. As she returns to the house, heaven watches in silence, and the earth keeps the secret that will begin to grow day by day. The impossible has happened, and the world, still unaware, is already being redeemed.
Sometime later. The road stretches before them like a pale ribbon beneath a sky already beginning to drain the day of its colors. Caesar's decree forces every man to return to the place of his origin, and Joseph, his gaze steady, makes his way toward Bethlehem. Mary travels with him atop a calm little donkey, her hands folded over her womb, which now seems to pulse with a life of its own, as if the child within senses that the time is near. The wind shifts. It is not cold, but it carries something Joseph cannot yet name. He looks at Mary several times along the way, concern growing as he notices her breathing grow heavier.
Is everything all right?
He asks, trying to hide the fear rising in his chest. Mary smiles, weary yet calm.
He's moving as if he hears footsteps that are not ours.
With every village they pass through, there are rumors, crowded roads, full houses, travelers angered by the lack of shelter. The world, without realizing it, tightens around the most important moment in history and seems to have no room. Night falls, and with it comes a different kind of glow. Some stars appear more alive, as if blinking with intention. Mary watches the sky and feels a gentle shiver run through her. Joseph lights a small torch, guiding the donkey along a narrow stretch of road. The silence is deep, but not heavy. It is the silence of something about to be born. Not only a child, but an era.
Joseph, is it close?
He swallows hard.
Are you in pain?
No, I feel light.
And Joseph understands in that moment that he stands before something so great, his reason cannot grasp it. But his heart can. His heart knows. They stop for a while to rest near a small grove. The leaves seem to sing with the wind, whispering words Joseph does not understand, but Mary receives as promise. She closes her eyes, and the whole world seems to grow smaller around her. The donkey, Joseph, the trees, the wind. Everything bows in silence before the Christ being announced within her womb.
Joseph, we need to arrive soon.
Her voice is firm now, almost urgent. He helps her mount the little donkey again and quickens his pace. Weariness sets in, but it is swept away by the certainty that every second matters. Bethlehem appears in the distance, lit by torches and murmuring like a sea of voices. And within it, without knowing, humanity waits or turns away from the greatest visitor ever sent. The journey is about to close. The miracle is about to unfold. The world draws a deep breath without realizing it.
Bethlehem is crowded. People speak loudly, slam doors, argue over prices, complain about the crush. Joseph goes from door to door, humbly asking for a place where Mary might rest. The answers come quickly, almost irritated. No room, fully occupied, try somewhere else. The world, so full of haste, does not notice who is about to arrive. Mary holds her womb. Her face shows contractions drawing ever closer. Even so, her eyes show no fear, only a serenity Joseph cannot fully understand, yet one that steadies him. At last, a sturdy man, worn down by so many requests that night, scratches his beard and sighs.
Behind my house there's a stable. It's no place for a child, but it's all I have.
Joseph gives thanks with tear-filled eyes. Mary smiles as if she already knew. The stable is simple. The scent of straw mixed with animals creates a humble yet welcoming space. The lamp Joseph lights casts a warm glow, making shadows dance along the wooden walls. And then, the night changes. A deep calm settles over that small place, as if heaven were holding its breath. The animals grow still. The wind falls silent. The stars seem to draw nearer, shining with an impossible intensity. Mary feels the pain rise and takes a deep breath. Joseph supports her with trembling hands, trying to follow the instructions he remembers from the older women of his village. But in truth, it is Mary who guides him.
Everything will be all right. He comes as he has always been, with peace.
The pain rises, breaks, pours out, and then, in a moment unlike any other, the child is born. There is no crash, no trumpets. The miracle arrives wrapped in silence. Mary holds Jesus against her chest, and the newborn, so small, so fragile, and yet greater than the universe itself, opens his eyes. Joseph kneels, overcome by an emotion beyond words. He feels something he has never known, his heart burning, and at the same time, being healed.
And in that exact moment, a star above the stable ignites like no other in the sky, tearing through the darkness and pointing to that hidden, almost forgotten place, as if the cosmos were proclaiming, "He has come, the promise is alive." Outside, shepherds watching their flocks by night notice the unusual light and rise, restless. They cannot explain it, but something calls them. Inside the stable, the world is no longer the same. Time bows, eternity breathes. The king rests in human arms. Mary wraps the child in simple cloths, kisses his forehead, and whispers,
Welcome, my son. Welcome, Emmanuel.
And the whole night is lit by that single gentle sound, the cry of the God-child, ushering in the salvation of the world.